Mining. Do you have to know someone to get a job? Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and this is one of the questions that gets asked all the time. Do I need to know somebody to get in? And to be honest with you, that depends on which area of the industry that you're trying to get into at the moment. If you're trying to get into coal or iron ore, then yes, you're probably going to need to know somebody. But if you're trying to get into exploration on the surface as a driller's offsider or into an underground nipper truck or offsider role, then no, you don't really need to know somebody. There's more than enough jobs around that the employers are having to hire green people for these starts. So if you go on to Seek and you type underground in, you'll see all the jobs come up. And all these truck jobs are all going to end up having to be filled with new starters because there's just nobody. And, you know, the big companies are advertising for entry level, and that'll be for either truck or nipper. And the best way to make a go of these jobs and show them that you're serious is to have your mining knowledge up to speed. So, you know, you can show them that you know how the mine works. I'm yet to meet a foreman or a project manager that sees the sponsor's training on their resume and doesn't want to talk to the person, because it takes all of 2 minutes to work out if that person studied and learnt the information in the course, and if they have and they meet your other requirements, then normally it only takes a couple of weeks to teach them how to drive the truck or what they need to know for nippering, and then they've found their feet. The unfortunate thing is it takes people a long time to find their feet when they go in green. So when you go in green and you rely on the company to train you, you roll the dice. I mean, there's no nice way of saying that, and it's not the company's fault. Everybody tries their best, but it is what it is. Whenever you're hiring somebody before they know the job inside and out, before they've even done the training, you're going to get a certain amount of people that go to site and just go, no, this is not for me, get me out of here. And there's some interesting stories floating around about the shortest time people have spent on site, or the shortest time they've seen a new starter be on site. And some of the people on the Facebook posts that I've read, you know, some people only lasted, you know, hours on site. And there's one guy reckons the guy got out of the plane and he turned around and he wanted back on the same plane back down to Perth again because he didn't like the heat that it was going to be. It was a really hot day that day when the plane landed, and that was enough to turn him off. And it happens all the time, and that's one of the reasons why I encourage people to have a look at the sponsors DIY training, because once you do that, you're going to know if mining's for you or not. And if it is, then you've got all the tools to go and get yourself a job. But if it isn't, you haven't spent that much money and you're the wiser for it, and you can move on. And that's one of the easiest ways of trying to go about it at the moment. Unfortunately, like I said, you know, with coal and iron ore, you tend to have to know somebody, and it's been like that for a little while. It used to be, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still like that with Hard Rock Underground. If you know somebody, or if your dad's the boss, or, you know, your sister's up there or something like that, then you're probably going to get a start really easily. But they need so many people that they just can't fill the jobs with those people. You know, everybody's sort of had a go at the moment, and that's one of the biggest problems they've got going in Perth at the moment, is that at some stage they're going to have to open up probably to double dosed people with the vaccine to let them in, because they need people in Kalgoorlie, they need people up north, and they need people down south as well, just to fill the towns with workers just doing the ordinary jobs, let alone the mining jobs. And that's just the way it is, unfortunately, at the moment. So if you can prep yourself and be ready for when they eventually have to fling the doors open, then you're in with a really good shot of getting yourself a start. And hopefully, if you can get yourself a start, you'll have the mining knowledge behind you to make it past that first 6 months. So that's my take on, do you need to know somebody to help you get into the industry? Yes, in iron ore and coal, but in Hard Rock Underground and exploration at the moment, they're that desperate for people that they're just hiring everybody left, right and centre. So that's one of the reasons why I steer people in that direction. But like I said, unfortunately, those areas of the industry do have a high turnover rate of new starters. So make sure you get your mining knowledge up to speed before you go to give yourself the best shot of making it. So if you could like and subscribe to the channel, and if anybody's got any other questions that they'd like answered, please send them through, and thanks.